On the East African island of Mauritius, there is a dish called mien frit that is a descendant of Chinese fried noodles. How did a Chinese dish make its way 5,000 miles south to a whole other continent? Welcome to a bite-sized edition of For the Culture Kitchen, where we explore the history of food in 7 minutes or less. I see land. Oh, I think we're almost there. Mauritius, located 1,200 miles from the southeast coast of Africa, is an incredibly diverse country with people of Chinese, Indian, Caucasian, and African descent. To tell the story of mien frit is to tell a story of colonization and political unrest. But what exactly is mien frit? It's a takeout staple incorporating egg noodles, soy sauce, oyster sauce, ginger, vegetables, and a choice of protein like chicken, shrimp, or pork. The word mien comes from the Hakka word main, which means noodle. Frit means fried in French, a blended name just to represent a few of the cultures who have inhabited an island named after a Dutch prince. I have an episode making it, of course. But let's get into how this dish came to exist. Are we there yet? This boat is hot. We don't got AC on the boat. Mauritius was colonized by several world powers, including the Dutch, the French, and the British, before gaining independence in 1968. Now, the Dutch faced things like cyclones, drought, pirates, and worst of all, they weren't even making a profit off of the place. So you gotta fight Captain Hook and be broke? Nah. Sorry, it's stuck in my... Nah. And so the Dutch abandoned Mauritius. The French were more successful at settling the island, and the country becomes a bigger trade hub, creating economic ties with Southeast Asia and southern China. In 1783, over 3,000 Chinese people came to the island via English, French, and Dutch ships. The French are bringing slaves from places like Reunion Island and Zanzibar to work on sugar plantations. Sugarcane becomes a major pillar of the island's economy. Then in the early 1800s, we had the Napoleonic Wars. France and England, they was beefing on the playground. And in 1810, England took France's lunch money. And by lunch money, I mean Mauritius. Y'all got snacks on this boat? Like, oh my God. Okay, we gotta speed this up. Fast forward to the 1830s. Slavery is officially abolished in the British colonies, but who is going to work in the sugarcane fields now? Well, the Brits have a plan. Slavery is being phased out. Indentured servitude is in. Foreign laborers were offered contracts that bound them to the other party for a set number of years. In exchange, they were offered a small salary. England brought in the vast majority of indentured servants from India, but in smaller numbers, they also brought in people from places like Madagascar, Mozambique, and ding ding ding, China. By 1846, an estimated 50 Chinese people were arriving per year. And they weren't just bringing labor or special skills, they were also bringing food traditions. And then in 1860, China loosens restrictions around emigration, leading to a spike in arrivals that year. And speaking of China, what was going on over there that made people want to seek opportunities elsewhere? Perhaps it was pirates? No, I'm playing, it wasn't pirates. No, it wasn't. Political unrest. When I say political, you say unrest. Political. Unfortunately, it was economic and political hardship. There were people suffering from poverty, famine, and conflicts. There were the Opium Wars, where Britain fought China over them outlawing the opium trade. There was the Taiping Rebellion, a civil war that became one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. How about the Japanese invasion of China? Or the rise of communism? I'm gonna need more than 7 minutes to get into all that. Mauritius was an opportunity to make money from being a laborer, being a merchant, a craftsman, a shopkeeper, etc., etc. A combination of trade, indentured servitude, and economic and political challenges in China created an opportunity for Chinese migrants to introduce noodles and cooking techniques that would later evolve to incorporate local ingredients and sweeter sauces, thus transforming into mien frit. Okay, I see the island. We're almost there. Let me put on my eye patch. Because we got to intimidate them, right? Nothing more intimidating than vision issues. You know what I'm saying? Arg, matey. Red leather, yellow Okay, I got it.